I had just messaged my sister that I was staying for 3 weeks instead of a few days when a knock sounded on the door. "Did you fall asleep in there?" Landon's voice sounded from the hallway. I looked up from my computer and arched my sore back. "Come in." The door opened, and startling green eyes met mine. "You settled in?" "Yes, thank you." I glanced at the time on my laptop. I didn't realize how long I'd been in here. Got caught up with work. This late at night? I blinked at him, confused at the question. "Yes? Why?" He shook his head. "At least make use of the office. There's a big desk and a comfortable chair in there. It can't be good for your back to sit crouched over your computer." "I will, thank you." "If you're done with work, I'll show you the rest of the house. The inside isn't much, but the deck and garden are great. Just let me finish this email and I'm all yours." I like the sound of that. I opened my mouth to reply, but nothing came out. He left before I could say anything else. I remembered how easygoing he was in Vegas, and even though I tried hard not to think about it, I missed his jokes. I found Landon in the living room, sitting on the couch, watching a football game. He looked up when I entered. I didn't think him looking at me would ever get old. There was something about having his full attention. I couldn't explain it, but every time he looked at me, I felt special. "Okay, Snowflake, let's do this. You want a beer?" "Just water, please." That earned me another raised brow, but he went to the kitchen and came back with beer for himself and water for me. He held the glass out, and I made sure not to brush my fingers to his when I took it. "I'm ready," I said. I was excited to see the rest of the old craftsman bungalow. He glanced at me and grinned. "Come on, let's start with outside. The kitchen hasn't been renovated, and you've already seen the living room and your room. The bathroom is old but clean. That just leaves the garden." "Sounds good. Lead the way." And once again, Landon had inadvertently picked the one thing I was most excited to explore. He walked in front of me, and I had a hard time keeping my eyes away from his perfectly formed butt. I remembered gripping it tight during our night together, thinking how impossible it was for anyone to have globes that perfect. I blinked and snapped my head up to his hair, hoping a different view would stop the memories. "I bought this house 11 months ago with plans of renovating, but work got busy, so for now I just added the veranda. I was also thinking of putting a pool in." I walked outside, and my heart skipped a beat at the sight. Gigantic trees lined the edge of the vast space on one side, and a huge flower bed sat on the other. The back had no fence, and I could see the forest bordering his property. There was room for an Olympic-sized swimming pool if he wanted to have one. But what really took my breath away was the variety of flowers on display. There was a big patch covered in Rocky Mountain columbine, Colorado's state flower. Someone had also planted forget-me-nots, mountain laurels, azaleas, violets, magnolias, and orchids. There were more, but I didn't recognize all of them. Roses of all colors lined the veranda. "Landon, this is amazing." My voice was soft, my eyes greedily taking in the backyard, not wanting to miss a thing. "Did you do this?" "I wish I could take credit, but no. My mom loves to garden, but lives in an apartment. She comes here every weekend to dig in the dirt." I looked up and found him studying me. "Do you like it?" he asked. I nodded. I remember the first time Mamo took me outside to her flower garden. It all seemed so magical then, like a secret world only the two of us had access to.